My radio show used to be 50 minutes, but recently we extend ourselves to 30 minutes, but I will not keep you 30 minutes, so don't worry. We'll have questions and answering for that. First of all, I don't like talking about myself, and maybe it's because throughout all my life there's this Cuban phrase that says that those that talk about themselves have no grandmothers. But, okay, yes, it's a Cuban expression. Yeah, no tienes abuela. You know, like, stop talking about it. Somebody should tell that to certain politicians, you know, when they brag about, oh, I've done this and that. A mouthful. But of course, that's the least thing that we need these days. You know, the mass-produced, spineless corporate puppets that only show up for photo ops. So I'd like to begin by saying that I'm a Miami-Dade artist. If anybody here needs a portrait, you know, be sure to talk to me afterwards, and I would be glad to accept commissions. But the thing about that has helped me by being an artist is that we're used to observing the reality, and then we go and express ourselves on the canvas. So essentially, that's what I'm here to do tonight. If I could just get your support, I would love so that we can all together paint a better reality for today's youth, because I am more than concerned whenever I hear my brothers and their friends and young people, and if anybody thought that 90s people, you know, my millennial people in the 90s, that we had the depressive grunge era, that we were depressive, just listen to young people these days, because they have accepted that they will live at a lesser economic standing position than their parents. They go on to say that they don't feel anything, that they're not motivated to participate in anything, they're not registered to vote, they believe in nothing, they're turning into nihilists. You know, where's the counterculture rebellion these days from young people? They don't believe in things. Why? Because that's exactly what the establishment wants them to do. It is not their fault that they don't want to be engaged. It is not their fault. It is not the people's fault that they don't want to register to vote, that I don't care about politics. Why? Because the establishment wants it like that. Because the less people participate, the more they can control. Because if you say, I'm going to stay home and I'm not going to vote because, you know, I'm powerless, I'm not going to make a difference, then they continue to keep things benefiting them. And they benefit by our apathy. By our cynical way of just seeing the whole process. It is dirty. I can assure you, I have received enormous support from all my friends. They've all said, yeah, you go girl, you do that. But then, besides the initial excitement, then they say, you do realize what you're doing. You're getting yourself into trouble. You are confronting a family. And I'd like to add, no, I'm more than conscious that it's a family. It's families, because no politician is alone. They always are the facade, the face that represents other families, lots of other interests. So we don't confront just, one person. It's an entire block of special interests. And these are the elites. We could have it at a smaller level, at a smaller scale. Every country has them. Look at Chile, right? But what is the one thing that people on top cannot stand? The whisper of a people's movement. The idea that people could come together, actually be excited about something, and get behind it. So, I mean, as usual, I came with notes. I mean, I don't need the notes. I go with notes for my radio show, and I always have to end up improvising because it's not the same. The notes, it's not used, just like a dead data. Yes, all right, let's go to the data. I am a Cuban American. I was brought to the United States by my parents in 1994. I was 6 years old, and that was a big thing. After 400 years of speaking Spanish, being involved in the independence movement of Cuba, suddenly we had to come to the United States, adopt a new language, learn Anglo-Saxon Germanic customs, but at the same time getting excited with rebuilding a new life, because like the original Cubans that came to Miami mainly, we were expecting to never go back. You had to start a new life here, so you got involved. And back in first grade, when I was, you know, I pledged allegiance to the flag and all that, which I would like to mention is, it says very clearly with liberty and justice, right? Because usually Republicans, they just say, liberty! And usually our leftist friends, you know, us, we'll just say justice, social justice for everyone. But I think that this district, they gerrymandered us, District 25, into being very complex, being very strange to serve their interests, but they got it wrong because they don't know the reality of what District 25 is. I think that come November 2020, when we put a mirror to District 25 is going to look very blue, very deeply blue. I see a couple of blue shirts tonight. Mine's not nearly blue enough. So the thing is, they're constantly trying to pretend to care about the Everglades, to pretend to care about immigration. No, we don't have to pretend because we are the real deal. We're not going to be politicians saying, oh, I got together today with some people to see what was their concerns. No, we know what those concerns are. We know. We don't need to go to our focus groups and check out pollsters and all these experts to figure out what is it that the people want. No, we are the people. We are getting behind the best innovative revolutionary things that we can propose, and they're not radical, because you know what's radical, you know what would be really stupid? To continue doing to continue on the path that we are right now. So when I see my young brothers, I just think, why can't we have healthcare for young people? Why can't, because it's what they always say, that, oh, you can't afford that, you're gonna raise our taxes. No, what's insane, what's inhumane and stupid is for us to think that we can continue to afford the corruption that we have right now. There is plenty of money. We have plenty of resources, but it won't ever be enough for their corporate greed. So what do we need to do? We need to clean out the system. We need to weed out the filth and actually do something that's for the people, by the people. Defending workers' rights, defending their right to have a decent and dignified life. Because we're not asking for radical things. This is all just basic human rights. We go around the world saying, oh, let's interfere in this country, human rights. How about our human rights? How about we have at least the standard of every industrialized nation, right? How about we have a sort of lifestyle that is appropriate for being the most powerful economic force in the history of humanity, right? So going back to the personal thing, in my family, we never had the idea of an allowance. This whole thing of giving kids just money because they're your kids. No. We had to earn our money. So the first money that I ever earned in this lifetime was actually working as an 8-year-old voluntarily for my family's company. Because while I was in school, my parents, they thought, the immigrant story. Let's do this. This is this other thing. We did so many things throughout my lifetime. I mean, right now I'm currently the CEO of our multimedia film production company, Wild Montage. Anybody brought shirts? But the thing is, when you believe in a system, you want to get involved, you want to be integrated, you want it to work for you because you are willingly giving it your best, right? But if we continue to let things run their natural course, we can't. It would be suicide because we have less than 12 years to take care of climate change, to fix people's living standards, because we can't have young people just, I'm gonna give up, I'm not gonna care about anything. It's just inexplicable, and that's just the problem with politics nowadays, because they just see it, young people, they just see it as this thing that they cannot get involved with, and that is not true. We can totally get out. We're gonna knock on thousands of doors, because it turns out that to run, you need $10,000. Of course, it's like the beginning of a relationship. Okay, right off the bat, you're gonna need money. Or you can get around, to file for Congress, you need around 3,000 something. To play it safe, we're gonna have to get 5,000 signatures. And that's the best way to go, because this district has a lot of independents, a lot of free-minded people. Like some people say, oh, you're never gonna win Doral. That's not true. Venezuelans there are independent. Many vote Democrat because they don't judge. In this district, we're flip-flopping all the time because we judge candidates as an individual. So we can totally win if we actually behave like ourselves. If we don't try to go down the path of corrupt politicians and join the cry to create a people's movement, to respond to the cry of so many working class people of saying, this is for you, we can do this, we can solve, the math does add up. And I'm pretty sure I left out so many things. I don't know how many minutes I have left, because it feels almost like a contest. Has it been 10 minutes?
We haven't timed it.
You haven't timed me? You know what that sounds like, right?
Yeah, and you have 3 more minutes.
3 more minutes? Then maybe I should stick my toes. Okay,
Okay.
I had written, a true indicator of intelligence is having the abstract ability to project yourself in the future. Better, not the candy now, but maybe a cake tomorrow, right? Just save your pennies. Tomorrow you're gonna have a great pension plan. But it oftentimes feels like politicians are just doing things to the quick fix, the right now, so that they can get into a snazzy picture, win the cover of something, win some prize. We need responsible political ideas that reflect our need for our desire to live beyond an election cycle. We need to think about 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and obviously that would be adding up the numbers and seeing that, for instance, the current healthcare system that we have, it's not reaching the people. Like y'all know the numbers. I mean, like 50% of people in America are either uninsured or no insurance at all. Insurance, I'd say that, what is that? I don't know, what is that, a unicorn? Because most people my age are like, it's too confusing, I'm not going to pay into that, and then it just breaks down. So basically, I am saying that I'm asking for your support. If I could please have your support. I'm working through a migraine here, actually, because I think now is the time, because if we just keep putting it off, if we just keep saying, you know what, I'm going to trust politicians in Washington, D.C. and at the Florida Senate, I'm going to trust the professional elites with my future. If we keep doing that and hoping that maybe by some miracle a good politician is going to show up, our planet is going to just blow up in flames, and we'll have only the little Haiti properties will be around with all the flooding, the climate change and all that. So I want to make a difference. I want to serve. I want to dedicate years, as many years as the cause would need it, because for the last 10 years, I've been asking Cubans to reconcile, to just put their problems behind them and just go to the next, turn the page, just go to the next chapter. And because of that, my family and I have faced horrible hostility. I know in the past 10 years, all that I have received from the other side of intolerance. Throughout these 10 years, I've met so much hostility. I know what xenophobia tastes like. I know what anti-Semitism tastes like. I know what misogyny tastes like, because I have gotten so many sexist comments. And sometimes people, when they see that you're authentic, that you are the real deal, and you believe in what you preach, that's what gets them going the most. And that's when they really want to just trample on that spirit and destroy it, because a lot of times hate is stronger than love, and that hate has led sometimes to really nasty confrontations. I mean, I've had the Miami bomb squad at my house. Why? Because sometimes they're not content enough with just spilling their hate on the keyboard. And so I've learned the hard way that no matter what happens, you have to confront power. You have to confront hate. You have to confront the barbaric ignorance of those who just refuse to realize that Hialeah needs to prepare its workers for automation. Where are all those truckers going to go, right? Well, how are they going to feed their families? You can't just deny yourself the facts that are surrounding you. Because I've seen that, because I've seen how even though we could have done something great, this ship continues to sink, because we're in this debate. This national hostility is surrounding us. And what are our last days as a species going to be on this planet? Are we going to be at each other's throat while everything just blows up in flames and there's horrible droughts and tornadoes and hurricanes everywhere? That's the kind of future that we're going to face if we continue to believe that the few can trample on us, decide our future, and just squander our natural resources like there's no tomorrow. They talk about, let's be smart. No, we're going to be smart. We are going to have heart and brains, and we're going to solve their mistakes, because we don't want to indebt the country. The country's already in debt. Trillions and trillions of dollars. They do not care about our future. So, to sum it up, because I almost thought I had the 30 minutes of my radio show, right? If I could just have, your support, I would really appreciate it, because I believe that the LCD is doing the right thing in reaching out to the community, because it all starts at the community. So thank you so much. Please help me serve our community.
Gracias, Yadira.
Hit me. lead with your best shot.
Yeah. Well, she can take it. I'm telling you, she can take it.
All right,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jack, first. And then
First of all, do you have any Democratic opponents? Are you gonna be in a primary? Do you know
That would happen. That eventually would happen. I mean, I've been told to get ready for that because they're gonna, to quote somebody, pick any bum off the street to make them, that person take away the Democratic votes to confuse the voters. That way, the Republican, it has a consolidation of all the votes. I can expect them to pull something like that, but I don't think that it would work because people can see right through those tactics, and if you're wanting to vote for a Democrat, you're not going to settle for any of that baloney, lukewarm, this and that, all the speeches that we've been hearing from one. If you want to vote blue, you want a progressive right now. So I trust that they'll be able to see right through that.
I got one other thing I just wanna say, so, you must need business cards because I don't see any here.
Yeah, I haven't
So,
done any
and
of
I mentioned I'm
that.
a printer, so I'm gonna donate to you 5,000 business cards plus 5,000 palm cards.
Oh.
So, along with that, though, comes an immediate challenge to write good content for it.
Right.
We'll design it for free, you just write the content,
Okay.
and it's your first.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's your first donation, but it's early.
Thank you so much. The good thing about the palm card is that when we knock on the doors and the person will say like, I don't have 30 minutes, I'll let the card do the talking then.
Or I could do door hangers if you prefer that.
No, the cards are better.
Cards are better? They fit, right, in your little pocket, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
cards are better.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jack.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Victor, you
Thank you.
Yes. Yadira, we know you and we know that you're sincere.